Thank you very much for joining me here. We are back and we are live. Just making sure that we are indeed live. If technical staff can let me know if indeed we are live here as I adjust my camera on IG. And we're gonna ride this back here on the stream. Here we go. Good, we're good. We're good. We're good. Can somebody give me a shout as to if we are indeed live on YouTube? Are we indeed live on YouTube? Um, do let me know if all is well there. If we are good. It looks like we are streaming. It looks like we are good to go. It looks like we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about this delay, but it looks like I'm gonna have to rehash and do this all. Do this over again one time. One time. Can someone give me a shout if everything is okay? Everything's a go here. If we are good to go. It looks like we are good to go. Do let me know. Shout out Lana BK. Do let me know, and we're gonna get into this, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get right back into this. So again, we're gonna do a bit of the intro, and we're gonna get into this. So with regards to Stefon Diggs, uh, uh, first of all, shout out to Arsenal doing wonderful things. They're facing PSG in the Champions League final, and looking forward to that indeed. So, um, right back to it. Stefon Diggs, a man who I and many Buffalo Bill fans are familiar with. This man is a number 1 wide receiver that has done well for himself. If somebody give me a shout as if we are still on the Ubius Tubius, do let me know. But yeah, just letting you know that Stefon Diggs was once a one-time Buffalo Bill. He was there for about 4 or 5 years. Actually, he used to be with the Minnesota Vikings, Buffalo Bills, and Houston Texans, and now finds himself with the New England Patriots. Now, the New England Patriots are doing wonderful things in 2026 thus far, especially with the Diana Rossini controversy with Mike Vrabel. You have this hanging over the. Oh, wow, we've gone off on IG. Of course we have. Why not? Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? Okay, we're going to renew and rehash here on IG again because I don't know what happened there. Anyways, we're back in live. So we're back on IG. We're back on Ubius Tubius. It looks like everything is good to go. And yeah, we're going to continue with a bit of the monologue here. So Stefon Diggs has found himself in many quarters, and not only with regards to NFL teams, he's been with 4 NFL teams, but also with many women has been heralded. He's his on again, off again relationship with Cardi B. He has a child with her, also with 3 other women who he brought 2 of them to the Super Bowl, just to let you know, because he finds it, that being a semen demon is is good. It's very good. It's very good. It's very good business. But again, we pray that his end of his career finds him in pastures green. However, what we're dealing with right now is the trial he just had to go through with the former in-house chef that he employed at his place in New England, and the fact that this woman launched a $5.9 million 5.9, it's still a $5.9 million lawsuit, should I say shakedown. Anyways, with regards to Stefon Diggs, because she felt that he assaulted her. So we were brought to this trial, and they recently brought out the verdicts. So let's see what happened in said trial. Spoiler alert. It ended up well for Stefon Diggs, but let's see how well it happened as we look to the one and only Nate the Lawyer. Nate the Lawyer is back. He's ready to attack, and he is doing his thing. So again, shout out to Nate the Lawyer, doing wonderful things in YouTube streets, and he has done a synopsis of this trial as in his own inimitable way. And yeah, he's done. Nate does great work. Do like, subscribe to Nate the Lawyer. He's doing wonderful things in YouTube streets, and listen, he's straight no chaser with regards to his legal opinions, and he is one of the people I go to with regards to anything legal, including law and crime, and also the lead attorney, of course. But I'll let Nate, the lawyer, take it from here. And thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. Sorry for the delay. We had a few technical issues. We got them straightened out. Let's go.
New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs is in trouble with the law tonight.
Diggs is now facing charges of felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery.
A few moments later.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. On February 13th, you issued a public statement, didn't you?
Yes.
And in that public statement, you said, I have never sought money to settle this matter, right?
I haven't.
A few moments later.
Ms. Adams, 3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs, correct?
That is client lawyer privilege. I cannot speak on.
Okay, so that's one of the first of many, how shall I say, misrepresentations, ladies and gentlemen, that Jamila slash Milla Adams has stated in this trial, which is very short, very sweet, but the hits just keep on coming, ladies and gentlemen. The hits just keep on coming, and we will continue those hits right here in Talk Live. It's extravagant, guys. This is gorgeous stuff. Let's continue.
You believe that your lawyer's communications to Stefon Diggs are covered by your attorney-client privilege, ma'am?
I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that question.
A few moments later.
Madam Forelady, has your jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count one, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count two, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
Stefon Diggs lost a $69 million contract because this woman lied about being assaulted, and now the jury's come back and said she's a damn liar.
Yes, indeed. You may not have. Oh, so let me go back to UB's 2B's. Here we go. You may not have heard all of that, but yeah, it seems that Stefon Diggs lost all his money. Yeah, he lost his contract because there is a code of conduct that the NFL players have to adhere to. Once you fall foul of that code of conduct, any sort of contract that you may hold is null and void. So $69 million goes down the drain because a woman accuses you of assault. Make that make sense. Let's continue.
Here's a quick message from this video sponsor.
Again,
ZocDoc.
we're going to move this
raise your
past
hand if you've been putting
this. Here we
off
go.
doctor's appointments, dental cleanings.
Sponsoring this message. Now, back to the video.
This is 33-year-old NFL star Stefon Diggs. Now, he is what's known as a premier wide receiver coming off of 6 1,000-yard seasons. He signed a massive 3-year, $69 million contract with the New England Patriots.
More breaking news out of the NFL here on Tuesday, where Stefon Diggs has agreed to a 3-year, $69 million contract with the Patriots. That's been confirmed by our Jonathan Jones. The deal includes $26 million guaranteed. The former All-Pro wideout spent last season with the Texans, suffering a season-ending torn ACL in late October. It's still unknown whether Diggs will be ready for Week 1 of this regular season.
So as you see, Stefon Diggs, one of the top wide receivers in the year, just signed this huge multi-million-dollar contract, and things are going well for him and the Patriots until his former chef said he tried to strangle her.
Quick toss, catch made, Diggs has a touchdown!
Tonight, Stefon Diggs facing accusations that could land him in prison. The Patriots' standout $69 million wide receiver has been instrumental in the team's turnaround success this year and has been called one of the greatest free agent signings in Patriots history. Diggs is now facing charges of felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery. This stems from an incident on December 2nd. In newly released court documents, a woman who worked as Diggs' private chef says during an ongoing text exchange about money owed, Diggs became angry and smacked her across the face. She says Diggs then tried to choke her using the crook of his elbow around her neck. and held her until she felt like she could have blacked out. The New England Patriots said in a statement that Stefon categorically denies the allegations. We support Stefon.
Stefon Diggs diving for the pylon. Touchdown!
Diggs is a star on and off the field. He leads the team in catches and yards, and he and his girlfriend, rapper Cardi B, recently welcomed a child together. These allegations come as the Patriots have one of the best records in the NFL and are playoff bound.
So now, we live in the woke world. So that means if you're an athlete and a woman randomly accuses you of a crime, you automatically lose your $1 million contracts. As an example, remember the story of Matt Araiza, the Buffalo Bills punter? He was accused by this woman of assaulting her at a party.
My body counts over 20. I'm only 18.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
My first body is like 15.
Like, how old were you?
14. I'm only 18.
Over 20?
I mean, I ate somebody's ass before, but that's only because they wanted it.
On the air.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so you see what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a, again, this happened to Trevor Bauer. We're dealing with ladies who have no prospects of making any exorbitant sums in the future. They're in proximity of athletes who do. They don't. They feel that they can get a come up. See also, how should I say? Club Shay Shay man, the Club Shay Shay man as well. You can see him too. Lord knows. They see these men with millions of dollars coming in, and they said, "Hey, I can make a come up. I can make some money here if I accuse a man of the R word or assault or SA or anything of that sort that to take his career off track, and with any sort of, how should I say, with any sort of, let's say, shakedown, I can make some money out of this." It's such a con game by these women, and it happens again and again and again and again. Not only to athletes, but to also the coaches as well, because coaches is a lucrative field as well. So you see a lot of these ladies who know they have no career prospects whatsoever, decide that they need to hit up these athletes for a shakedown for money. And here again, we have that case. Let's continue.
Now, after that woman made her allegations, Matt Araiza's $1 million contract was voided and he was fired by the Buffalo Bills.
Araiza has always denied his involvement in that alleged at a 2021 party, and now new evidence from prosecutors show he left the party an hour before the assault happened.
Came back up again recently because of this 220-page transcript in which prosecutors explained to the alleged victim that Araiza had left the party at which the alleged gang occurred an hour before it happened. So that has created a firestorm of its own.
You see what I mean? Accusations meant convictions, and Matt Araiza fell victim to that, even though now he's back in the NFL, but his contract was destroyed. His life was almost destroyed because some random person off the street just made a wild allegation and he wasn't even in the building. So you would think the NFL would have learned from that mistake. But no, they didn't, because when it came to Stefon Diggs, well, let's cut his contract because some random woman has alleged that he did something to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about optics. It's all about optics, especially to these big leagues, especially to the likes of the NFL. They want to look good, especially with their female audience. So therefore, they want to be seen as taking action. Now, again, this could work out well for the NFL as well. So, especially the teams, because they don't have to pay out contracts that they, may see as bad, ladies and gentlemen. So, Stefon Diggs, who is still, a highly successful wide receiver, a team may say, you know what, let's see if we can get into the draft and see if we can get someone different and get him off our books. So it helps the team as well as it helps their optics with their female audience. So they're always going to take this route of, okay, cancel the contract, let's look good with the ladies, and see where this lies. But what's not taken into account is that these gentlemen, these young men who are victims of these false accusations have to rebuild their lives again, may lose their careers in total. See Trevor Bauer. He cannot get back in the MLB. He can't get back. He can't get back into the MLB simply because MLB has taken a stance against Trevor Bauer and stated, you know what? Even though these allegations are false, we don't want to look bad in front of our female audience, so therefore we're not going to let you back in the league. So this can happen to anyone. This can happen at any time, and it's, you know, by the grace of God, go you as an athlete in any of these leagues, because again, the NFL don't want to do their due diligence, don't want to look bad in front of their female audience, so therefore they are always going to cut the contracts of these accused athletes. Let's continue.
Talking about something huge news out of New England. The New England Patriots have informed Stefon Diggs that he will be released after the start of the league year.
So the rest of that $69 million contract is gone, but he still has to go to trial. He's facing 5 years in prison on these strangulation charges, and now he doesn't have a job. So they go to trial.
Now at noon, jury selection begins in the trial of former New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs. He's accused of attacking his former private chef over an alleged pay dispute.
Now, let's recap how we got to trial. This is Jamila Adams, and she claimed that on December 2nd, she was attacked by millionaire wide receiver Stefon Diggs. She said that Diggs entered her bedroom, smacked her across the face, and then tried to strangle her. Now, this case was essentially a he said, she said case. There were no eyewitnesses to the event because she said that it was just her and Stefon Diggs. There was no video of the incident. And then you would expect other things, like if somebody strangled you to death and slapping you in the face, you'd have some injuries, but there were no photos of injuries. There was no documented injuries anywhere. And there was actually no contemporaneous reporting of the injury. She reported it 2 weeks later. But that didn't stop.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard that. There was no evidence of anything. It's just her word against his. It's a he said, she said. Criminal trial we're dealing with here. That's it. No doctor records, no hospital records, nothing with regards to any police records, nothing. There is nothing with regards to evidence. All it is a woman's story. That's what we're going on here. That's what nearly ruined one NFL player's career. Make that make sense. You'd think you'd walk into this with at least something behind you. But no, not in this instance. Let's continue.
Prosecutors. He's a man, she's a woman, she's saying this happened to her, so he's got to be guilty. We're going to take him to trial. So prosecutors needed the jury to believe the alleged victim in this case. And if she got caught up in a lot of lies, then obviously he's going to be found not guilty. So the alleged victim went and testified, and she was caught in a whole bunch of lies. So first we'll start with she changed her story. Initially, she told police that the fight was about money. She was asking to get paid, and he flipped out and attacked her. But at trial, she told the prosecutor that the fight was about being excluded from a Miami trip.
What you said to Officer Ellis when you reported this crime, this so-called crime, is that you had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to you.
Yes.
You told the police officer who filed the criminal complaint in this case, based on your word, that your fight with Mr. Diggs on December 2nd was over money. True?
Yes.
Except you just testified under oath to this jury that you didn't start talking about money until December 5th, right?
What did you say?
So then the defense attorney said, I'll ask you again, since you just testified that the fight was over the Miami trip and not about payments. So here was her response when she was asked a second time.
Do you recall testifying under oath to this jury that your fight on December 2nd was about Lindsay, your anger at Lindsay, and you being told you couldn't go on the Miami trip.
My anger was at Stefon. I never said my anger was at Lindsay.
So then the defense attorney tried to ask her a third time, hey, you just said the fight was over the Miami trip. Now you've changed that story and say it was about money. Which is it?
My recollection, it was true. We did discuss money and payment.
Ms. Adams, you just testified under oath about what happened on December 2nd.
Okay, I also didn't put in a police report our sexual relationship.
So obviously she was caught in a lie and couldn't just cop to it and say, all right, busted. I told the police one thing and I said something else to the jury. Now, it also didn't help the prosecution's case that their star witness apologized to Stefon Diggs in text messages about the way she acted on the night of the alleged assault that didn't really happen.
See what did you respond to Stefon on December 11th? And this is now 9 days after you were assaulted, supposedly.
I was assaulted. It wasn't supposedly.
What did you respond to Steph?
Was very emo. Sorry I made you feel that way. I don't want to leave. I want to stay to take care of you as long as I need you.
And you sent him a second message.
Really sorry, Steph.
Then, like, another bombshell happened. She admitted that...
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, you think, go back to a place of employment where you believe you were assaulted. You just don't do that. You think that. Why would a woman apologize for how he made her feel? How she made Stefan feel? And she was assaulted by Steph. Not only that, she testifies the fact that she went on a Miami trip, that she was angry about the Miami trip, when in fact she was mad. She told police that she was mad. She was mad about something else, completely different. This woman's not starting out well. This is your star witness, ladies and gentlemen. This is the person you put on your stand in order to prove your case as a prosecutor. She is doing terribly. And she is making herself look like a fool. But hey, wait, there's more. Let's go.
On December 9th, around midnight, she went back to Stefon Diggs' home, walked upstairs, knocked on his bedroom door, trying to get in. And you got to remember, this is after she was almost allegedly killed by Stefon Diggs.
So on December 9th, round about midnight, when you got back to his house alone, you went and knocked on his door, right?
Yes.
And he didn't open it.
I didn't knock. I tried to get in the door.
Okay, you tried to walk into his door.
No, that's how I would go in his room. I would unlock his door.
Sure, just like always, right?
When he needs food and his door was closed, I would go in his room.
Right.
I never went in his room without permission.
You going in there on December 9th is no different than any other day.
You literally told us that you go into his room without permission. Oh my God. Oh, she would literally go into his room without his say-so, without his permission, and now she's saying that she would never go into his room without permission.
Right? And when you weren't able to get in, you actually sent him a text message, right?
Yes.
And you told him, can you read what you told him?
I was coming to ask you what time you have to be at work and to say hi.
Then she was caught up in another lie. She said she had quit on December 2nd, but come to find out, she came back a couple of days later and continued working.
Did you tell Officer Ellis, after the alleged assault on 12/2/2025, Adams left her position and left the residence to stay with a friend in New York?
Left my position mean I left to get on a plane and go. I didn't tell them I quit. That didn't mean that I quit.
You didn't quit?
No.
On several days of that week, you simply kept doing your job, right?
And asking for my pay.
That's a yes or no question now.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You kept doing your job.
Yes.
Officer Ellis was wrong when he wrote that you left your position.
When she blows out exhaustively like that, you know the gig is up. You know she's having a bad day and it's only going to get worse. She knows it ain't going to get better from here. Because what people don't understand about trials, about putting your allegations proof, is that if you ever get on the stand, you're going to be cross-examined. And cross-examination, especially in the hands of a good lawyer, is hell. It's literal hell. They're going to be having you dance up, down, and sideways with regards to anything. With regards to your action, to your allegations. Any scintilla of accusation that you put out there, you're going to be questioned on. And you're going to be finding yourself, if you are untruthful, trying to remember the lie. And that's what she's going through right now. She's realizing cross-examination is literal hell on earth. Because she's going to have to backtrack, sidetrack, forward track, rear track, do everything possible in order to keep her story straight. And it's falling apart at the seams. That is what that let out of air, that exasperative breath of air was all about. She knows she's in trouble. She knows she's in trouble. And there's no turning back. Let's continue.
At 12, not 2.
I left the house, so him put in position didn't mean that I left my job as a chef. I left the house.
Now, if you're like me, we're all thinking the same thing. This is a gold digger who was looking for a come up, right? She was looking to become a millionaire. So she's on the stand and she's got to make herself look that she is pure as an angel. So she's like, no, I was just looking for the money he owed me, which is about $19,000. But she failed to tell the jury that she had demanded through her lawyers $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs to make this whole thing go away.
That is what you call a shakedown. That is the shakedown part of this. Before a claim is issued, a letter usually comes from a lawyer saying, we need such and such and such money from you, or else we're going to start legal proceedings against you. That's what that letter was. They said, we need $5.5 million from you, or else we're going to trial. Now, for a man like Stefon Diggs, whose literal livelihood is on the line, yeah, you go to trial. Oh, hell yeah, you go to trial. But in essence, that's what that letter was all about. It was a shakedown. It was trying to rock Stefon to a point where, okay, I'll pay you to be quiet. That's what Club Shay Shay was all about. Basically, Club Shay Shay was issued a letter saying, okay, we need this amount of money. Club Shay Shay said, no. I don't want my reputation ruined. Here's your money. Hush, hush, let's get moving. I need to get my career back. Because he knew that even though he lost his ESPN contract, which would have made him $100 million richer, he needed to save face. He needed to continue his career on YouTube. So he decided, okay, take your cut and let's move on. But with Stefon, this is his life here. It literally is his life. His NFL career is all he's got. So he's got to fight. He's got to fight. But that's what that letter was all about. It was literally a shakedown.
Ms. Adams.
A shakedown tactic.
3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs, correct?
That is client lawyer privilege. I cannot speak on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is not lawyer-client privilege at all. This is a woman who clearly doesn't know what the law is. That is public record. That's why the lawyer can ask her about that letter. That is public record now. It is not lawyer-client privilege at all. Yet she's making it seem so. And believe me, court would object if that question was out of bounds. But it's not. And she's not any sort of legal counsel. So she tried to pull a 4-leaf clover out her ass. And shall I say a BBL ass at that, I believe? Allegedly, but let's continue.
You believe that your lawyer's communications to Stefon Diggs are covered by your attorney-client privilege, ma'am?
I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that question.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs, don't you?
I have a workers' comp claim, and
Your Honor?
I've explored all civil options.
Ma'am,
I don't understand.
are
the
you
question.
able to
Sorry.
answer
No.
that question?
No, I'm
Counsel,
not
restate
able
the
to.
question, please.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs.
Do you know that, Miss Adams?
No, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer the question.
She don't know how to answer the question because she can't answer the question. She knows it's for a man's career to fall upon a woman who's clearly out to lunch, who clearly saw a mark and tried to get a lick in street parlance. It's absolutely frustrating to the infinite degree that this man has to suffer these sort of slings and arrows for a woman who's clearly lying and who anything that a lawyer does, a client should know about. A client should okay. A lawyer shouldn't be doing anything a client doesn't want to do. And lawyer-client privilege is all about evidence that may hurt his client. That, or in preparation for this case, that's what lawyer-client privilege is all about. It's lawyer-client privilege is literally any sort of documentation, any sort of notes, any sort of research in preparation of a case, any sort of dialogue between lawyer and client. That's what attorney-client privilege is all about. In preparation for trial, they are protected under the law. They don't have to be revealed. That's what lawyer-client privilege is about. A letter going to Stefon Diggs from a lawyer asking for $5.5 million is not lawyer/attorney-client privilege at all. Yeah, this is going to be a long day. Let's continue.
Always lying to me. Why? You lying so much. Why? You making it hard for me.
Her testimony got so ridiculous, the judge had to step in and say, we gotta make sure you understand you're under oath and you need to answer these questions truthfully.
That as well. But courtrooms function in, and especially trials, unfold in a question and answer format. This is not an opportunity for you to interject your own narrative and evade responding to questions the court deems appropriate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take in this scene. A lawyer asking the question is a woman. The judge who's conducting this trial is a woman. And the woman whose allegations brought this case to light is a woman. Me Too is all over this. You cannot say there is any bias against a woman here. So for feminist groups who may be watching this video, do understand that the lawyer for Stefon Diggs is a woman, the judge is a woman, and she is receiving a fair trial. She's just doing a very, very, very bad job at being a star witness, because she is clearly lying at every beck and call. Let's continue.
And if you continue to do so, your entire testimony may be stricken. Am I clear?
Yes. And then another shocking piece came up. Remember, she was saying that she was doing all this because she wasn't getting paid? Well, come to find out, she had been paid. And when confronted with that, this is the way she chose to answer it.
And you're the person in the bubbles on the left?
Yes.
And you write to Sonny, hey, so I looked over my transfers, payment history, and they sent payments, 11/7 and 11/21, totaling $4,000. See that?
Yes.
So you knew that you had actually been paid for 2 of those 3 weeks that you tried to get paid for again, right?
What's your name? I never got your name.
Did you know
I
that
don't
you
know.
had
I was trying to address you by your name because I'm not this. I don't know.
The gig is up, people. When she says, I don't know, shh, the gig is up. She knows cross-examination is hell. And she knows it's over. She ain't getting any money. This has flown right back in her face. You're supposed to believe all women, right? You're supposed to believe all women. Okay, let's go.
Can't answer that question correctly.
You knew on December 9th that you had been paid for 2 of the 3 weeks you said you hadn't been paid for, didn't you?
I don't understand the question.
You just acknowledged you wrote it to Sonny.
So allegedly, she's fighting over money that she's already gotten, but since she didn't work a week, he didn't pay her for that week. And when asked about it, she says she doesn't understand the question. She kept saying, I don't understand the question, I don't understand the question, even though they were easy questions. And the jury was able to see right through it. Let's stack it up. No photos, no medical records, story change from the police report, an apology text, returning to the man's house at midnight alone and going to his room. She's then asking for $5 million, refusing to answer simple questions, yes or no, complaining about not getting paid, but knowing that she actually already got paid. That was enough for the jury to take 90 minutes, get some coffee, and come back and say this.
Madam Forelady, has your jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count 1, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury?
Yes.
Down goes the gold digger. Now, we all know what happened here. She was looking for some easy cash. And I think it's kind of funny that as soon as the criminal complaint dropped, her lawyer's calling Stefon Diggs' lawyer asking for $5.5 million. And this story's not over because Stefon Diggs still, at this moment, is not signed by an NFL team because this woman decided to just lie and say she was strangled by this multimillionaire athlete. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes these athletes don't go crazy, but in this case, the overwhelming evidence shows that this woman was an outright liar. And this was always the danger of Me Too. You're convicting someone based off an allegation. No matter how wild that allegation is, no matter how crazy it seems, it's a conviction and he had to prove his guilt. And that's exactly what Stefon Diggs had to do right now. He had to go into court and prove that this ridiculous liar telling lies that are preposterous for anyone to believe, he had to go and prove in front of a jury of his peers that she's a liar. And now that he
at his own cost. Do remember, he ain't getting money from the NFL. That's gone. This is out of his own pocket. He's got to defend this case. You're supposed to believe all women, right? What? Supposed to believe all women? Huh? This man may lose his career here. He may never see $69 million again. $28 million guaranteed. He may not see that again. But Me Too rolls on, finding new victims. Let's continue.
He's proven his innocence, he gets his career back. This is what it's come to. But I always say this: believe facts and evidence, don't believe narratives. My question for you: what should happen to this woman? Should she be charged? Because it's obvious she's lying. Should she get any of that money back? Matter of fact, should Stefon Diggs sue her for her lies? Let me know how you feel in the comments section. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer. I'm out. Peace.
Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. He did masterful work in a short space of time with regards to this case. Let's get back to full camera, ladies and gentlemen. And the hypocrisy is real, people. All athletes out there, watch your back, because women may randomly choose you. This is something that any athlete in any major sport can receive on their doorstep. And it can ruin your life. It can literally ruin your life. If I were Stefon, I'd sue her just on sheer principle. Take whatever money she has. She has very little to nothing. Very little to nothing. And I'm sure that she started said lawsuit on a contingency basis. On a contingency fee basis. So therefore, they don't win, they get nothing. That sort of deal. Sort of like personal injury cases. This woman, I'm sure, has little to no money at all at her disposal. But Stefon had to take his own money and fight this case to prove his innocence. And now he's got to fight to get back in the NFL. Is that fair? Is that fair that any athlete can suffer these misgivings and that could end their career? I ask you. That's the frustrating part. Men work all their lives to get to a certain position. Yeah, okay, he may be a semen demon. So what? He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve this at all. Yet he's left here picking up the pieces. Yes, sue her for defamation of character. Yes, sue her for any sort of action he can find available for misrepresentation, because she was clearly lying all day long and 2 ways to Sunday. With no medical records, with no police records, nothing proving her case. Was a shakedown. And she thought that she could get right. Unfortunately, the jury saw right through it. And they took 90 minutes to decide. Wow. Anyways, I'm praying for Stefon. I'm hoping that, he's still a premier wide receiver in the NFL. And I hope that he can find his way back in. It happened for the NFL kicker that used to be employed with the Bills. Oh, it's funny how both these players used to be employed with the Buffalo Bills. And he found a new team. But I think Stefon is still a very good wide receiver. A lot of teams would see him as a fit. But if he doesn't, it's a tragedy, and it's another tragedy. It is the Trevor Bauer tragedy, or a man who should be in the prime of his life, who should be enjoying the fruits of his labor that go on for years, is torn down at a woman's accusation. And believe me, this man should put this woman in bankruptcy if he could. But we know that she doesn't have any money at all. But here we are. Here we are, left picking up the pieces. And yeah, I'm praying for Stefon. I'm hoping he can get his career back, even if it's with the New England Patriots. But I'm hoping he can get his career back, and that he can find his way back in the league, because he didn't deserve this at all. And to that lady who did accuse him, this shameless attempt at getting money out of her because she wanted a restaurant. Shame on you. Absolutely shame on you. But athletes should be aware. Dot your I's, cross your T's. Always keep evidence on anybody that's in your circle, because this can happen to you. It can, at a moment's notice. Because a lot of women don't have a proclivity to work. Many do, but a lot don't. They don't have a proclivity to work, and if they see an easy payday, they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it. As we see in this case. As we see in this case, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna easily take it. I just want to get this lady's name here. There it is. Jamila Adams. Shame on you. Absolutely shame on you. That you put this man in such a vulnerable position that he may never get his NFL contract again, just because you wanted a restaurant. Shameless behavior indeed. Thank you very much for joining me here in Talk Live. We're going to end it right here. Again, R.I.P. Rest in peace, Marion McGlure. A very special part of my life. We have a quick question. Wasn't that the same guy who had all the babies with Cardi B? Yes, it is. But did he deserve it, Lana BK? Just a final question. No, he didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve a woman literally trying to fleece him of, is this karma? No, it's not. No, it's not. That is not karma. Karma is when you do somebody wrong. Did he do any of his baby mamas wrong? No, he still pays child support, and they all showed up at the Super Bowl. So that's not karma. This is absolutely diabolical behavior. It's a diabolical behavior from a woman who clearly will never make millions of dollars being any sort of chef whatsoever. And she had no proclivity of work whatsoever. So what did she do? She saw a mark, she saw a lick, and tried it. She literally tried it. But she didn't realize when she went on the stand, cross-examination, cross, is hell. And they will make you look stupid if you allow them. And that clearly happened in this case. Shame on you, Jamila Adams. Shame on you once more. But thank you very much for the questions, Lana BK. And we're going to end it right there, folks, because this is another frustrating case of Me Too run amok, ladies and gentlemen. Me Too run amok. Me Too never sleeps. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end it right there. And we're going to move on to another show tomorrow night. Potentially, we may have Thursday night Corey fights. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. But we're going to end it there. And thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live, live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We'll be back tomorrow night with a new show. Look forward to my previews on Instagram, YouTube, and but thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live, and we'll be back tomorrow night. So we're gonna say goodnight from IG, and we're gonna say goodnight on YouTube. And thank you for hanging in right there, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're watching it on pre-recorded, hey, yeah, you got nothing to worry about. You're good.